Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Good evening to everybody around the nation, around the globe. Everyone in South Africa tuning in on Salam Media, around the world on Salam Media. Those out in Durban and Peter Maritzburg tuning in Al Ansar. Assalamu alaikum. We're live on Al Ansar 90.4 FM in Durban and 105.6 FM in Peter Maritzburg. Well, you're now tuned in to Friday Nights with ST. This is myself, Dakir Dawood. I'll be running you through the Super Rugby segment that we can be expecting this weekend. I'll be joined by Mubeen Mohammed, who is a analyst of top caliber, one of the best and obviously most definitely not given the credit that he deserves. He's spectacular. Yeah, I'll be chatting to him in just a bit. We'll be chatting a bit about how the teams have adapted to the new Super Rugby laws in New Zealand. That is, we'll be chatting about the banter around the braai at the Gatlin household. That is, and we'll also be chatting about the upsets that took place in the Super Rugby over the weekend. The Blues getting one. The Blues obviously getting one over the Hurricanes on Sunday morning. The Highlanders beating the Chiefs by 1 point. So yeah, this weekend, what you can expect, we've obviously got the Chiefs that take on the Blues tomorrow morning, and then Sunday, a big one, the Crusaders, New Zealand's favorite and most successful Super Rugby franchise, take on the Hurricanes. That will take place on Sunday morning. I'm joined by Mubeen Mohammed. Mubeen, assalamu alaikum. Thank you for taking the time out of your evening to chat to us. Yeah, man. What did you think of the first weekend of Super Rugby?
Assalamu alaikum, brother Zakir. How's it? It's lovely to be here tonight. First weekend of Super Rugby. Wow, it was exciting, eh? We saw two fantastic games. And last week, I actually got my predictions wrong. I told you that there will be lots of stop starts and lots of scrum resets. We were actually surprised to see that both games were fast and furious. I don't know about you. I enjoyed
both.
About
that, just while you're chatting about that, we've obviously seen the fitness levels of the teams being of top standard. Their balls, not many balls were dropped on the evening. It just showed that these guys were looking to come back to the season with a bang. And I mean, some quality rugby. What's your thoughts on that?
No, definitely, Brother Zakir. I know most of the players did mention that the fitness coaches and the conditioning coaches put them on programs. So many of the guys were training at home, although they weren't seeing each other as teams. They trained individually at home. So you could see it evidently in the game as well, in both games. The skills, the handling, there was hardly any handling errors, in the game. And lots of fluidity, lots of momentum, lots of continuity in the game, which, like I said, was very, very surprising. But it just shows you, it just shows you the commitment of the players, They did their homework at home. And like I said, most of them stuck to the game plan as well. You could see that the coaches gave them a bit of to run a little bit, which was surprising, like I said. But alhamdulillah, I think we enjoyed both two games.
We've been talking about players doing their homework and coaches doing their homework. Obviously, New Zealand's been penalised at the breakdown quite a number of times over these years, and they've become the team that have been known for pushing the boundaries and pushing the laws when it comes down to breakdowns. But this weekend, we've seen something different. The refs penalised them more than anybody could expect. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, New Zealand finally been taken to task for something they've been doing wrong all these years?
Yeah, I was actually happy because I mean we all spoke about this actually last week. We know Richie McCaw for many years. Many people say he got away with murder at the breakdowns. So it was lovely to see that this past weekend that New Zealand were actually penalised very like big time at the breakdowns. I mean, I remember the first half. I remember Ron Nisbet, the commentator, saying there's 15 penalties given away at the breakdown. 15, that's quite a lot. That's been the first half. But just showed you that although the players played a very free-flowing game and there was lots of continuity, the breakdowns was still an area where a lot of players need to work on. And I think it's mainly the entry coming from the sides.
Looks like we just had a break in network there with Mubeen. Signal's quite bad. But as Mubeen was saying, that, it's just been quite a mess when it comes to the breakdowns in the last weekend. It's been a bit of a messy situation. A lot of penalties being given away and quite undisciplined teams. But let's hope in week 2 that they do get it right. And then another one of the touch on with Mubeen was obviously the braai at the Gatlin household. That would have just been so much different. We know that Gatlin Senior obviously is taking the coaching reins, at the Chiefs, and then his son, who plays for the Highlanders, managed to score the winning drop goal on Saturday morning in South Africa, Saturday evening in New Zealand. Obviously, wasn't in the starting 15 at first. They had dinner, a family dinner. He revealed the rumor in the week. They were at a family dinner the Friday evening, where he got a WhatsApp message saying that he's been selected to be in the starting 23 the next day, and he needs to prepare himself. And he was at the dinner table with his dad. However, he didn't want to let too much away and let the game plan away to his dad. That's why he didn't let his dad know until after dinner that he's going to be in the team the next day. And then the next day, he actually puts a drop kick over that sinks his dad. Mubeen, what's your thoughts on that, man?
No, it was actually obviously Bryn Gatlin wasn't supposed to be in the 23-man squad. Remember, that was the first thing already. And I mean, most people were expecting him. Wasn't expected to be in the 23-man squad, so he wasn't expected to get any game time, perhaps, And luckily, he came onto the field the last 2 minutes. And I think most people thought that David McKenzie actually got the winning. And then obviously him coming at the end there and then just kicking a winning goal against his father's side. How ironic. I don't think his father can be disappointed in him. His father should be proud of him because.
But how does his father be proud of him if his father's job could possibly be on the line? We do know his father's going to be taking the British and Irish Lions to South Africa next year, and getting off to a start like that, with a result like that, people have been questioning his tactics. So now, I mean, your son to put the nail in the coffin, that's a bit of a tough one.
Look at it, it's a 50-50. Look at your son, you love him, and then obviously it's your coach, you're coaching the opposition. So it's a bit of a touchy one, going into for that. I actually can't say anything much about that. That's more of a father-son type of relationship. I'm sure they'll have a beer over that after the game, or after next week's game, they'll probably have a beer over that and probably have jokes and banter about it.
Yeah, definitely. Mubeen, now we go through to week 2. I mean, rugby again this weekend. What's your predictions? First of all, let's see if you can get it right.
Yeah, last week I said 17-10 the first game, and I actually got it wrong. Like I said, I told you, I thought there'd be lots of stop-starts, lots of scrummages, scrum resets, a lot of fumbles, but I was actually wrong. So this weekend, the first game, Chiefs versus the Blues. I think I'm going to go with the Blues. They've shown this whole year that they've been very consistent. I mean, they even came to Cape Town to beat the Stormers. A lot of Stormers were poor in that game. I think I'll go with the Blues to beat the Chiefs. I'm going to go with, let's see, I'm going to go with 27-21 to the Blues and the Chiefs.
Well, I'm going to hold you to that. I see that we've got an interesting matchup there. If you take the 215s, we've got Damien McKenzie, obviously brilliant, phenomenal fullback, taking on Bowden Barrett, who's also another amazing fullback. But now if we go through to the next game, the Hurricanes taking on the Crusaders. New Zealand's most successful franchise in Super Rugby. What's your predictions on that one?
Yeah, look, that's going to be interesting because remember the Crusaders didn't play last week. So they had the bye last week. So it will be interesting to see how they go. And then obviously the Hurricanes are into their week 2 or match 2. So I'm going to go with the Hurricanes victory. I know a lot of people say Crusaders are the premier side of New Zealand, but I'm going to go with the Hurricanes victory. I'm going to go with, let's see, 18-10.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that one fares out. Crusaders obviously could have the upper hand on all the teams in this weekend's version of the Super Rugby Toyota. And because watching all of the other teams, they should take some pointers there for their book. Is there anything you want to leave us with before you go on what we should expect in this weekend's action?
Yeah, I just want to mention that for the Hurricanes, there's 2 big names coming back. Ardie Savea, All Black coming back, and then also Vaya Fafita, the enforcer for the Hurricanes. So 2 great players coming back, and I think they'll have a massive impact on this game. Let's just watch that space.
Most definitely. Certainly at the breakdowns, you're going to need someone like Ardie Savea to enforce discipline at the breakdowns when it comes to the Crusaders. We do know that the Crusaders can sort of disrupt things at the breakdown and get quite disruptive. But Mubeen, that's all we have time for this evening. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope that we get to chat Super Rugby soon.
Shukran, brother. Thank you very much. See you next week.
Most definitely, brother. Have a good evening further. Walaikum salam. So that's what we have this weekend. Super Rugby round 2. The Hurricanes take on the morning early, and then on Saturday morning we obviously got we've got more Super Rugby action that's going to be happening tomorrow morning. Amazing times around the world. New Zealand tested negative for COVID-19 about 4 weeks ago, and that's what happened when they actually got all the teams back into full contact training. It's nice to see that the teams can actually integrate everything into this, and they could start their Super Rugby, the first in the world, and they're actually one of the first nations in the world to get back to professional sport. Let's cross over to ad break, and then you'll be back with myself and ST in studio.
Well done, well done.